Hi there, welcome to the Upcycle Design Lab. My name's Cindy and I craft using recycled and repurposed materials. If you're new here, I hope you'll stick around and check out some of my other upcycling tutorials. And if you like what you see, you can check the subscribe button below any of my videos to become a subscriber. Also, if you'd like to be notified when I upload new videos, be sure to check the bell icon as well. So what do I have for you today? I don't have an actual project. I don't really usually like to share my failures, but this one was so colossal that it was almost funny. So I figured I would share with you what I learned along the way. I don't know about you, but I've been curious about this product for a long time. And I recently did a video testing this Flex Seal Clear liquid on a bunch of different surfaces. So if you're interested in that video, there'll be a link in the comment section of this video, or you can click on the link in the video right now. But the reason I was testing this product out was because I needed to repair a couple of chairs. And the chairs have a long jaded history as well. I've repaired them a couple of different times, and I'll put those links in the comment section as well. But I thought I'd kind of figured out what I needed to do. So I thought that the way to fix my chairs was to put kind of a nice clear plastic coat on the chairs. I should probably back up here a little bit and explain that my most recent repair was done with some packing paper and Mod Podge. So I wasn't exactly surprised that the finish didn't end up being that durable, especially on the chair that is favored by the dogs. But I was hoping that I could replace the torn paper and then put a top coat of the Flex Seal on it to make the finish more durable. So that's what I did. I guess I should also mention that I was not exactly using this product for one of its recommended uses. I was definitely experimenting. It was a little tricky to get consistent thickness on the chair because of all the different angles, and there was some buckling in the seat. But you can see here I'm brushing on the clear liquid and it goes on very shiny. It doesn't dry completely clear. If you watch my video when I'm testing it on glass and things, it has a slightly cloudy finish. But on this chair, it looked quite shiny, and if I'd been patient and I had just kept applying more and more coats of the liquid clear, it might have worked. But you can see that I have a few drips on the front. It just continues to run and level itself out over the 24 hours that it seems to be drying. So you can try to catch some of the drips, but it's difficult to get a really smooth, clean finish if you have different angles and ripples in whatever it is that you're putting the liquid on. So because I was impatient, I guess, and I wasn't sure if I could actually I thought it was going to take way too long and way too much of the clear liquid to get enough coats on so that it would be a nice thick layer to finish my chairs. And so I got kind of lazy and I switched to the Flex Seal Clear Spray. Now I thought, because it was the same company and the same kind of product, that it would actually be clear, but I do not recommend, from my limited experience, using the Flex Seal Clear Spray. For one thing, it didn't really seem like it was clear. For another thing, it was just icky to work with. It's messy, it shoots all these fibers. My clothing was covered in the plastic spray. The table that I was working on in the garage just has all these little fibers on it. But worst of all, it left this sort of rough finish that kind of felt like it was going to peel off. And you can see here that it is not clear at all. It gets kind of cloudy the thicker that you put it on. But if you leave a thin coat on, it seems like it's just going to kind of peel off. So even though my chair looks really terrible here, I decided to go ahead and put another layer of the spray on, which I will show you in a minute. But that was when I finally have just sort of given up on it, and these chairs are 10 years old, so I don't feel too terrible about it, but I'm calling this one, I'm throwing in the towel on this one, and I think we're gonna have to buy a couple of new chairs. You can see our dog loves her chair, but you can also see that they were pretty hard on it and the finish wore off pretty quickly. And this is the chair that I have not repaired yet. I mean, I've actually repaired it twice, but I have not put any Flex Seal on it. So the color was nice. I liked the way they turned out, but obviously the paper finish that I put on there was not very durable. So as bad as the chair looked in the garage, here is what it looks like in better lighting in our house. You can see that this chair has a much darker finish than the other chair and that it has a cloudier finish. And my husband said it looks like a glazed donut, which I think is a pretty accurate description. I ended up using 2 cans of the liquid spray, and most of the fibery finish is gone now. So the finish is smooth to the touch, but you can see here that it's still not an even coat. And here on the seat, it's showing what I guess are air pockets underneath the finish. I don't know if you can see this part, but for some reason the Flex Seal spray has started turning a pinkish color in some places, which is definitely not a result that I was expecting. So at this point, I can only conclude that this is definitely a failed experiment, which isn't the end of the world because, like I said, these chairs are over 10 years old and they've definitely suffered a lot of abuse over the years. So I thought that was the end of the story, but because we haven't found replacement chairs yet, and because I was still a little curious how the finish would wear, we used the chairs for a couple of days, and it didn't take long for the finish to start peeling off. So I wasn't that surprised that the finish didn't stay on that well, but I was very surprised that it came off in such giant pieces, and that the spray portion of the finish didn't seem to pull off any of the Flex Seal liquid that was on underneath it. So of course, once I discovered how easily the finish came off, I couldn't resist pulling all of it off. But unfortunately, while most of it did come off, there are a lot of places that were thinner, I guess. The spray wasn't quite as thick, so it didn't come off as easily. And I'm still considering these chairs a lost cause. All right, so what did I learn from this little adventure? Well, first of all, I learned I'm not really a fan of the Flex Seal Clear. Now, to be fair, it does say to wear eye covering, face covering, protective clothing, and gloves when you're using it, so they are warning you that you're going to get fibers everywhere, but you definitely want to take those precautions if you use this because it is very messy to use. And like I said, it's not really all that clear. Here is a piece of the Flex Seal that I pulled off my chair, and I think you can see the pink tint to it, which is really strange. And then also, it's not all that clear. On the other hand, I'm pretty excited about this Flex Seal Clear liquid. Even though it didn't work for the chair that I was hoping to fix, I have some other ideas for uses for it, and I'm kind of glad that I have about half of the can left over for some other projects to experiment with. The other thing I'll mention is that, I don't know, maybe it was just my timing, but I had trouble finding this in my local stores, so I did have to actually go online and order it straight from Flex Seal. The spray seemed to be available everywhere, which was another reason that I was kind of tempted to give it a try. But for my purposes, I'm much more excited about this product than the spray. And like I said in the video recap that I did, where I was just testing this product straight out on a bunch of different materials, it doesn't dry completely clear. I don't know if you can see this. If you put it on glass, there is just a tiny haze to it, but On the chairs it looked very clear and it's very shiny, which the spray didn't seem to be shiny at all either. And the other thing about the spray that I was a little bit surprised about is that I thought it would go on smoother than the liquid and not drip, since I was trying to put it on vertical pieces of the chair, but it seemed to kind of run and drip a little bit too. Now maybe I was putting it on too thick. I don't really know. I'm certainly not an expert in using this stuff, but for my purposes, I'm much happier to use the liquid clear product. I will warn you, it doesn't smell very good, but it does have a lot of interesting applications that I'm curious to try out. One last thing I should mention is that the cost of these were about the same. I think they were both about $14. So I don't know what the coverage is for each of them, but for my money, this is definitely more worth it than the spray. So that's it for today's video. I hope you found some useful information here and maybe even a little bit of inspiration. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you back here soon in the lab.